Hey guys, Quiet as Music, and I'm finally reviewing the new and improved, maybe not improved, but I am finally reviewing the new Lil Uzi Vert album, Pink Tape. Let's get right into it. So the opener to Pink Tape is kind of a dub. It isn't worthy of being an opening track, and the verses are kind of weak. At least those were my first thoughts when I first heard it. It's grown on me a bit. I do like it now. It's a bit more of a stronger closer than it was. He's being very braggadocious for like 3 minutes straight, but he's kind of doing that on almost every song on the album. So if you're not into that, you probably won't like this album. The first 3 or 4 lines on the chorus are catchy, I will say, for the opening track. The opener may be lame, but it's followed up by one of the dopest songs on the album. I love the trap metal influence on Suicide Doors. The flow he's using is really catchy on that song. And lyrically, he's spitting. You can tell he's putting in effort, but a little bit of it is him being pretty ignorant, lyrically speaking. I love this conspiracy theory references he makes halfway through the song. He makes a reference to The Crow, which I like. I like that movie a lot. I've only seen it once. I need to rewatch it. But it makes a lot of sense as what he's doing. Because, Brandon Lee was like this, like, goth punk emo icon, I don't know, and it fits the theme of the trap metal influence of this song. A starts off like it was produced by Travis. Not surprised that he's featured on it. Travis and Uzi have some good team synergy on this one. I like the delivery on this one, but they're not really saying much lyrically speaking, except for that line where Uzi says he's a target. We need more of that synth that plays around the second half of this song, Crush 'Em. It's really good and it's a bit underutilized. I really like how they combine the chorus and the refrain on this song. It really adds to the song structure. And on top of that, they do a melody switch up at the same time. It's pretty neat to listen to. Amped Up is another trap rock banger. And it starts off with that outrageous noise Uzi makes with his mouth that he's done like so many times on the album. I don't know why he keeps making that noise on this album. It's pretty funny, but it doesn't take away from the seriousness of this track, if you could call the song serious. I think the song is about becoming successful and banging as many rocker women as you can. Possible. As much as possible. I think that's what it's about. X2 has such a colorful beat. It's one of my favorites on the album. So is Uzi trying to say that he wants to bang Miley Cyrus? Because he makes reference to Hannah Montana and Billy Ray Cyrus on the song. Is he dating Miley Cyrus? I don't know. Is that what he's trying to imply? I have a feeling he's just saying that for the sake of a good chorus. Died and Came Back once again proves that this album's strongest aspect is its production. The rhyme and vocal inflection he uses on the chorus is really catchy. It seems Uzi is also starting beef with Roddy Ricch. He takes a few shots on him on this song. I'm not familiar with the beef, but I do like a good diss track. The lines where he's dissing him are just alright though. The name of the song is in reference to people saying Uzi fell off and that he's not going to make a comeback with this album. Boy, were they wrong. I do have to say, I don't think he ever fell off. He just became inactive after Eternal Atake, or Atake. I don't know how to pronounce it. I heard Atake. Who knows? I heard Spin Again from Spotify Radio, and I loved the hell out of it when I first heard it. Still my favorite track on the album. Such a great track. It's a bit short and needed another verse though, and a repeated chorus. I wonder how Ice Spice feels about being referenced in this song in such a raunchy way. I'd be offended. Because the way he talks about it, it's very suggestive. That Fire is Uzi trying to replicate Playboy Cardi's baby voice in his own style. Honestly, Uzi does the baby voice thing a little bit better than Cardi, and Cardi rarely uses it. He only does it on his unreleased songs, if I remember correctly, and like maybe 2 of his actual official songs. Endless Fashion is not a good song. What made him think doing an interpolation of I'm Blue was a good idea? I'm blue, da ba dee ba. What? Why did you think that was a good idea? It comes off so tacky. The Republican Doctor line Nicki makes is kind of cute though, I have to say something good about the song. The song does have a few good qualities, like all the fashion references they make is pretty impressive, but the delivery of the lines makes it hard to enjoy because they're trying to recreate the delivery of I'm Blue with different words. The alliteration on the chorus of I Gotta sounds so good when Uzi raps it. That line is Lamborghinis being better than Maseratis, I don't agree. I like Maseratis more. If you couldn't tell by now, Uzi loves rapping about and bragging about the girls he can get and the money he has in his pockets. Mama I'm Sorry blows, like there's no redeeming qualities about it and there's really nothing good to say about it. So yeah, that song sucks. All Alone is another throwaway track with a really stupid line. And my circle tied just like some Cheerios? What are you even trying to say with that? That made no sense. What does that even mean? To say something positive, the production is kind of good, but overall All Alone is pretty whack. Unlike Endless Fashion, Nakamura uses its sample pretty well. I'm a pretty big wrestling fan, so I geeked out when I heard Shinsuke Nakamura's theme song. If you're not familiar with the sample, it's probably not going to be a good song to you though. The lyrics aren't that special, but I do like the Top Dog Entertainment nod they made. I Just Wanna Rock, this standout single from this album, is a really good song in the context of this album as well as outside of the context of the album. So that means it's just an overall good song. I love almost everything about it. The kick gives off this heartbeat feel, increasing the tension of the song. It's one of those songs you just get lost in and vibe out to. He's not saying much lyrically because the song is about how good the production is. He puts more emphasis on the beat than the lyrics, which I like. Fire Alarm is so chaotic, I love it to death. He goes from making an Ed, Edd and Eddy reference to referencing Frank Ocean. Like what? Who does that? The opening of the song starts with a sample that sounds like it's from an intense, suspenseful moment in a horror movie. I didn't notice that until it was like my third time listening to the song. I didn't know how good the song was until my third listen of the song as well. The Chop Suey cover was pretty difficult to listen to when I first heard it. I thought it was obnoxious. Now it's just okay to me. You can really hear the fucking auto-tune, auto-crooning on the Chop Suey cover, and that's just not something I want to hear on a System of a Down song, a System of a Down cover to be exact. I do like the two intro lines before the actual song starts. When the roads all merge into one, you're forced to drive. That spoke to me, and it's one of the realest things he said on the album. Very metaphorical. Uzi tried to do his own take on this song and kind of failed. It was a pretty bad take. Bad job at it, to be honest. Werewolf features Bring Me the Horizon, and it's kind of out of place because it is basically just a Bring Me the Horizon song, one of their newer songs. On paper, Bring Me the Horizon is a pretty good feature idea for an Uzi album, but it doesn't really work when acted upon. It's only working good on paper. The song doesn't really fit the album aesthetic at all, and if you ignore all of that, it's just a good Bring Me the Horizon song. The lyrics feel like they were written by an edgy goth teenager who's obsessed with werewolves and vampires. It's kinda cringe to be honest, but it sounds better performed than written. The refrain on this song is pretty bad though. It's difficult to listen to without cringing. Pluto to Mars is another okay kind of filler song. It seems to be some type of love song. The production reminds me of something I would have made when I first started making beats. It sounds a bit rough and amateurish to be honest. I'd like to note the line, I was never on my high horse from the fame. I don't know how true that line is, but I'd like to mention that Uzi just comes off as like a very arrogant, narcissistic person just based off of the stuff he likes to rap about. So that line, I don't know if I should take it seriously or not. Most rappers do have an arrogant personality on the mic though, so yeah. Who knows, maybe he is telling the truth and he is actually a pretty humble guy in real life. Patience is the superior love song. Don Toliver really killed it with the back vocals. And I really love the comparison between the drug Seroquel and the lover he's rapping about or singing about in this song. I don't know what he loves more, his lover or the drug he needs to take so he can function properly in real life. Days Come and Go is a melancholy yet uplifting jam of a song. Uzi deals with concepts like love once again, and he also makes reference to his dad who he has issues with, and he's not sure if calling him is the right idea. This song is the most introspective on the album, but I don't know if that's saying much because it's not like super deep like a song like Real by Kendrick Lamar, for example. Ignoring that, you can tell that Uzi put some serious detail and effort into this song, unlike some other songs on this album. I didn't tell the truth a few seconds ago, because Rehab beats Days Comes and Goes as the most introspective song on this album for me. This song proves Uzi knows how to paint a story in his music. He's not the best storyteller in rap, but this song proves that he can do it. This track deals with a rehab hospital he was in for months, and there's this mother figure he had named Moran. Moran helped them out a lot to overcome his mental health struggles he was having. It's a really beautiful song, but I can't help but to compare it to one of those alien movie score noises you would hear in like an old science fiction movie. The lead melody, mind you, the lead melody sounds like it's from a science fiction movie. The end is a little bit anticlimactic, and it should have been put somewhere else rather than the last song. Well, the last official song of the album, not counting the bonus tracks. It doesn't really feel like a good ending. It features baby metal, and just like Bring Me the Horizon, they feel kind of out of place. The song is pretty good, but once again, it just isn't a good ending. The chorus is catchy like a mother sucker though. I forget how much I like baby metal. I haven't listened to them in like years. Like seriously, in years. Now it's time to talk about the bonus track. I like the hi-hats on Zoom, even though it's a pretty basic hi-hat loop. Of course, it's just alright. I like the line where he says, "I fucked so many hoes, I had to just go and switch states." That's a good line. That line really proves how much of a big baller Uzi is. Sade makes me wish the actual closer of this album was the end instead of this bonus track. It's a pretty weak track, and Uzi is pretty much saying the same stuff he said for the last 25 songs. I was pretty fatigued from Sade after that, because it's a lot of fucking 25 songs. That's a lot. It really fatigued me. The album as a whole is definitely not revolutionary, but it's a really good effort as a new Uzi album. It's just another decent trap album with Uzi's own personal take on this whole rage music thing that Playboi Carti blew up. It's pretty redundant lyrically like most trap albums, but I really like the rock sensibilities on the song, and of course I really like the production as well. That saves the album. The rock sensibilities and the production. Alright, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna give this album 2 scores. A personal and a critical. Something new. I don't think I've ever seen a YouTuber who reviews music do that. I will give this album a personal score of 7.3 out of 10. And I will give this album a critical score of 5.6 out of 10. I like the album more personally than critically. Well, that's all she wrote. That's all I have to say. It's been Quiet Does Music. Out.